What up, nerds? It's Ron, back from Kind of Nerdy, and tonight we're going to do a video about Uncanny X-Men number 186, Life, Death, a Love Story. Now, I've been wanting to do videos for a while, but my microphone quit working, so I had to order a new headset. Just got it today, so I'm trying it out. So hopefully the audio's good. I have the fan running in the background because it's hot as heck in here. But anyways, I kind of was reluctant to do this one. That's why I went to the Sinestro Core War storyline for the videos because I just, not to be hateful, I am not there in no way or form an artist at all. I cannot draw to save my life. But what I can tell you though is that the art I don't like. I never liked this guy's art. It's what is his name? Uh, the Barry Windsor Smith, a British guy. Nothing against the guy personally. I don't know him, but I just look at his art. I just as he got as he got older into the '90s when he worked for Valiant Comics, he actually did pretty good. He actually did the art for Exo Man of War, and his art had improved. But I just something about the way they look. They just look like they're plastic. The people, their faces do. So that being said, I want to go into this issue. On the cover, we have Forge and Storm. So as you remember, in last issue, Storm was shot with the power neutralizer that Forge had built. The shot was meant for Rogue, but Storm interceded, and she got hit with it, and she lost her powers. All right, so we pick up with that. We got a ad for Buckaroo Banzai, which was a sci-fi movie that came out in the 80s. I watched it one time. I never really got into it. It was supposed to be, I think they meant for it to be some great epic, trilogy or what have you series, and it just kind of puttered out. So, anyways, that's my opinion. So, Stanley Life Death presents Life Death, written by Chris Claremont, the guy who set the who set the mold for being an X-Men writer and their stories and things like that. His writer, he wrote for the X-Men for years, and he's the one that basically uh, created the X-Men's backstories and things like that. Man was a great writer. There are people that will disagree with me. That's all up to you. But for me, I love Chris Claremont's work. So once upon a time, there was a woman who could fly, and you see Storm laying on the bed, kind of in the fetal position. Um, and we zoom out, and we zoom in, and we zoom into her face, and Forge is standing in the doorway. Ororo, it's Forge. I got a pot of tea with him. How are you feeling this morning? I brought you some herbal tea and a hot broth, my mom's recipe, the Cheyenne equivalent of chicken soup. She swears by it, guarantees it'll cure anything. But not the loss of your powers, I bet you. Come on, lady, you need to eat. You can't just lie there and waste away. Oh, do you hear me? Curse you, woman! I won't let you die, no matter how much you think you want to. Uh, something you might that we might want to consider here. Storm, all of her life, has had the power to control weather. She's always felt like she was one with nature, with the elements, and so to have that ripped from her violently, not only is it's going to be traumatic on your body because of your body, it's part of your genetic structure, but also on your psychological well-being. I mean, you're having something, basically a part of you that you've always had, that you've adored in your life, ripped from you, literally. So you can understand why she's in this catatonic state. So you're going to live, Aurora, if I have to force you every bloody step of the way. Okay, so Forge is Cheyenne, so why would he say bloody? You know, he's not British, and you know, he's touching her, and she's just there, like I said, in a catatonic state. Just great. Have it your own way then. See if I care. Slam. So yeah, I'm gonna stand by you all the way. Then I'm gonna throw a temper tantrum and storm out of the room. And she just lies there in her catatonic. You know, there's not even any thought bubbles, so that kind of tells you something. Uh, X-Men comics were good for thought bubbles. You know, inner dialogue that the X-Men were having, and she has none. So then we go to to his penthouse, and you see all the things that appear to be floating in the air. Trouble is, I do care too blessed much for my own good. You know, that's one of the tropes of Chris Claremont is that he always says, oh, "The trouble is, I do care," or he calls somebody a cow, but am I talking about you or about him or myself? Right? Was how do I reach her? How do I help someone who doesn't want any? And then we have an ad for Nabisco Brands to send in your proof of purchases to get some. I guess those are. I thought they were supposed to be Care Bears, but apparently not. They're fantasies, teddies in space, some hearts and lips, sunglasses, stickers, a digital watch, a fire truck, and a Jeep. Those are from Matchbox, so they're not very big. Special gift offer, complete the mail. Please check the items you want. Be sure to enclose the correct amount of money. So it's a gift, but you have to pay for them. I've endorsed one and two purchase seals from enclosed from two $1 and two purchase seals from any two packages of Oreo Fig Newtons and or Apple Newtons cookies to each set of stickers. $2 and three purchase seals for any three Apple Newtons and get the watch. 75 cents for one purchase seal, and any package Oreo for each car. So. And I think about that time the cars were 75 cents anyway, so you're not really a gift. And $2 and three purchase seals for a watch. I wonder how long that watch lasted. All right, so he's more inner dialogue with Forge here, and he says, "I'm doing a wonderful job so far. My patient does respond to therapy or tender loving care, no problem. I'll shove her away. I've already hurt her so much already. I've hurt her so much already. What's a little more a little more matter? We're two of a kind. She and I are mutants. The next step in humanity's evolution. Born with extraordinary powers and abilities. Lucky us. I'm the maker. I build things. This is like this holographic display system. Storm controlled the elements, and he pulls up a hologram of her. She looks almost like an owl here. Lord, she's beautiful. Uh, little inside her tip, Ororo means beauty in her native tongue. And then we go to another ad. New fantasy adventures. You can choose your pathway to the magic realms. Dragon Tales. These were a big thing, and these books were a big thing in the 80s, books that you could choose your own adventure. Basically, you know, you came to a decision, you had to make a decision A or decision B, which made the story go to a different way, and a lot of times those decisions were bad. You know, sometimes they were, and so it was really interesting. With a soul as lovely as her body, the personification of life itself. She changed last year. Her goddess-like serenity gave way to an all too human passion, and it made her lovelier than ever. Now, because of me, that's over. The beauty gone forever. The woman destroyed. She was leader of the X-Men, a band of outlaw mutant superheroes. A federal strike force was after one of their members, Rogue, on a murder warrant. They caught up with her on the banks of the lower Mississippi. When I arrived, she and Storm were too busy saving lives to worry about getting away. So, as you recall from 182, they had a warrant for Rogue's arrest when she infiltrated the the Shield helicarrier, uh, rescuing a friend of Carol Danvers, whose memories his voice recording triggered. And so, uh, and so the a agent of the Hellfire Club was in the had infiltrated Shield, and he was torturing this guy, and then he made it look like that Rogue killed him. So and so apparently everybody Shield was gullible back in the 80s. Says my mistake was using the minimal setting. I've recalibrated to full power, so that's Harry Peter Gyrich, and he's replaying this whole thing. So I don't know if he record this while it was happening, or did he just create it from memory? I don't know, but he has all the dialogue down and everything of the incident, and it has Storm. Oh, look! Oh, Gyroch's weapon was designed by me to neutralize the enhanced abilities of its targets. It was an untested prototype. Gyrich wasn't supposed to have it. I had no idea whether it would remove those superpowers temporarily or permanently. So why did you give it to the government? Mm. I heard Storm scream as I did that night in Nam when I reached into the lowest pit of hell for my salvation. Miraculously, the tugboat crew survived. And then we have some ad. Sorry. Never fails when I start making these videos. I get a scratchy throat. Some ads for comic book stores and karate self-defense, super bodybuilding, Marvel Comics price list, free offer, millions of gold banknotes. Fool all your friends with the exact reproduction of old U.S. gold banknotes, 1840. Can you say counterfeit? Charges? All right. So we have where Rogue. I doubt Rogue was so lucky. She fell in mid-channel. Oh no! Oh no! Their current swept her away. I managed to reach Storm and drag her safely ashore. Uh, that was not a kindness. Ororo? You should have let me drown. Professor Charles Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters in Salem Center, New York, half a continent away. Herr Professor? Yes, I've tried my best, Nightcrawler. Cerebro has amplified my size scan to the fullest extent, but I cannot find her. And then, boy, I swear there's like an ad on every other page here. And then, new comic books only 40 cents. Collectors are saying this about Westfield Comics in Madison, Wisconsin. All right. I thought using Cerebral, you could pinpoint any mutant on Earth. I should especially one from of you X-Men, but I've sensed nothing from Storm since I was struck down by her incredible burst of pain, a mental shriek of purest agony through the psionic rapport I share with you all. The psychic trauma was so intense it rendered me unconscious for over a day and left me unable to utilize my telepathic abilities before this. Makes me think of the scene in Star Wars: A New Hope where Obi-Wan gets the feels the Force when Alderaan is destroyed, and he says it was like millions of voices all crying out at once, and then they stopped. Professor, was what you felt Ororo's death? I wish, my friend, I could say no. Uh, However, let's assume she's still alive and somehow shielded from my probes. She left the mansion in search of Rogue. I'll scan for her. Perhaps she can lead us to Storm or tell us of her fate. Dallas, Texas. Eagle Plaza. Forge, is there any word of Rogue? Harry Gyrich and his team have been searching the river downstream from where she landed. Without success, she either drowned or escaped. Rogue is a resourceful young woman. I would say the latter. What brought the two of you together anyways? She's a crook, part of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, no longer. Besides, she and I have much more in common than you suspect, such as, when I was half her age, I was the best pickpocket and thief in Cairo. You're kidding me. Nope. My porta console, it was in my back pocket. Child's play. You certainly haven't lost your touch. I suppose I should be grateful. Uh, is it a human skill? Something earned the neutralizer did not affect it? Um, it's a human skill. Something earned the neutralizer did not affect it. Forge, could we have a floor, please? I find all this open space a little bit unnerving. Oh, I thought you'd be used to heights. That was when I could fly. Um, there are cumulus clouds building in the west. Weather forecast is thunderstorms. Only a few days ago, I would not have needed to see the storm to know it was there. I would have felt its power resonating within me. So she's been catatonic for days, and yet she's got makeup on. um, I just noticed that the lines going up from her eyes. Uh, I could have told you precisely when its rain would fall and how much and for how long. I could have nudged it aside or gentled its fury. I could have made its thunder and lightning my own. Now I can do nothing but watch. You're alive, Ororo. Doesn't that count for anything? This is not life, Forge, merely existence, a shadow of what was. To believe otherwise is but the cruelest of deceptions. I won't accept that. You do not understand. How could you? I could fly. I was one with all creation. And now you've gotta walk like everybody else. The goddess has become just plain folks. He doesn't have much empathy, does he? He's just like, well, you just gotta accept it. You got your powers ripped from you, and you're just gonna have to get over it. That's what it sounds like. Tough break, and he just walks away. Dunce. Each time you open your mouth with the best of intentions, you make matters worse. Haven't we all been there? I can't help myself. I get so angry at me, not Ororo, but I end up taking it out on her. I'm making the same mistakes the shrinks made with me. You'd think I'd know better. I wonder if it was such a smart move leaving her alone upstairs. The penthouse is 5 stories tall. Ororo could end all her troubles by stepping off one of the high platforms. It's her life. It has to be her decision. So he's gonna accept. Well, if she commits suicide, it's not my problem. That's really empathetic, right there. Just like it was mine. And she says the water looks lovely. You don't. Why don't you hop in and find out for yourself? As you wish. He dives in the water. Race you to the other side. Hurry up, slow coach. Um, you had a head start, Forge, and I still beat you. Going away, and looks over and she sees his glove and his bionic leg and his cane. What are you, lady? Part fish? Let me catch my breath. Woo! You have a lovely laugh, Aurora. You should let people hear it more often. May I help? I can manage things. I've certainly got enough practice. Your leg, great for walking, not so hot for in a pool. You see, Oro, I do understand. If not for my own knack of inventing, I'd be hobbling around on a steel pin and wearing a hook where my right hand used to be. I didn't believe it at the time, but I'm a lot luckier than most. Come most too many buddies came back unable to walk at all, and some even moved or they came home in boxes. So this center picture of Storm, that's one of the reasons didn't like his art. I swear she looks like she has Down syndrome. I mean, that's not a slight on people with Down syndrome. It's just that's what she looks like to me. And look at he's showing this something I never noticed before. As many times as I read this book, is all these scars that Forge has on him. Not only did he lose his hand in the war, but he also lost and his leg, but he got shrapnel damage. Um, home from where? The war, Vietnam. What happened? I got too close to a bomb, or maybe not close enough, depends on your point of view. At the time, I wanted to die. I was pretty determined to. I tried to do the job myself. No luck, though. I'm still here. Yet you tried to deny me the same escape. With life, there's always options, possibilities, hope. You never know what'll happen next, for better or worse. Death may be certain, but it's also final. Once done, it's done. There, there are no second thoughts, no going back. Did Chris Claremont like have to deal with this with somebody else in his life? Did he have suicidal thoughts at one time, and this is what someone told him? I kind of wonder about that, because this is really deep, especially for the '80s. This really deep psychological thing stuff that they're talking about here about suicide and depression and things like that. I can understand with Forge. You can understand in a way the man fought in Vietnam and he almost died and he lost his hand and a leg and took some shrapnel damage and yet and that was I know that was traumatic, and so to think that you know, did Chris Claremont go through the same thing? And is he like speaking from a personal experience? That makes you wonder. Makes me wonder, anyways. That's what I wanted. I'm learning differently. You're shivering, Oro. I am cold. Uh, my body automatically compensated for the environment, keeping me warm in the Arctic or deliciously cool in the jungle. It was something I always took for granted. As you say, I have just become just plain folks. Um, the sooner I become used to that, and she trails off there. Cattle, uh, Cattle Scott, Caldescott, that's it, Caldescott County, Mississippi. Uh, Welcome back, Dr. Cooper. How was Washington? Lousy, Phil. Evidently, Storm unleashed so much energy when the neutralizer hit her, she burned out the mutant scanner the Avengers gave us. Considering the circumstances, I doubt Forge will loan us his. He angry? You don't want to know know your day any better. So the Avengers are freaking traitors, dude. They gave the government a freaking mutant scanner to look for mutants. Now, as long as you leave us alone, we'll give you one to track down mutants. So you leave the Avengers alone. Afraid not. I think we've lost Rogue. There are just too many places along the river to hide. Our nets spread too thin. Uh, that about what other mutie? What about that other mutie? The one that carted off was the one carted off by Forge. So I don't know if I've said this in right previous. Mutie is a racial slur for mutant. It's the N word for mutants, basically, in Marvel Comics. Uh, Guy Rich said he'd deal with her. Mr. Tax strikes again. Forge will love that. If they slaughter each other, it'll be fine with me. Good night, Phil. And Valerie, and Phil says, "See you in the morning, Doc. That lady does not look good." Word is Forge protested to the president himself. Guy Rich is zapping the wrong person by mistake. Only made matters worse. What's that? Thought I heard something. Nope, Mott's deserted. Jump in my old age. Poor Val. She saw this assignment as her big chance. Instead, it'll probably finish her career. Too bad. I liked her. She's a good boss. She deserves better. Yawn. I hope Marty's still up. I hate eating alone. Been away from home and her way too much lately. I thought we were going to have our first gay marriage here or something in Marvel Comics back in the 80s and didn't even know about it. Marty. Oh. And then all of a sudden this creature's all human. And the look of fright on his face. As you see this Dire Wraith appear and materialize in front of him. May have said it before. Dire Wraiths are a offshoot of the Skrulls. They are actually So when the Celestials travel through the universe on every on a lot of planets that they on the planets they travel on, they created subspecies of each race. On Earth, they created normal man with the power to eventually genetically mutate to become mutants and superhumans and such. They created the Eternals, which basically they were long lived. They sustain themselves off the cosmic energy of the universe. And then you had the Deviants. The Deviants are they're wild cards basically. No two look alike. They're always something. They look like monsters, and they're a lot of times they are monstrous in attitude too. So uh, they have different traits. It's like uh, um, a random dice roll every time one is born. They're born different. No two look alike. They don't all have the same. They don't even have the same biological functions. And so when with the scrolls, the same thing happened on their world. But the deviants were the ones that are the only ones that still exist. They're ones that they wiped out the Eternals and the mainstream scroll race, and so there's only the deviants, which and their ability is to shapeshift. Well, the Dire Wraiths are an offshoot that they were split off of the Scroll Deviants, and they using black magic, and they became these monsters. And the way they assume a shape is not through just concentration like the Scrolls, but they put their barbed tongue through the head of their victim, as we see here with Phil. It goes right between his eyes, and his head collapses as it sucks out the life from him, and it becomes him. Our sorcery prevented any from hearing your outcry, Philip Rosen. And those who learn of your demise will meet a similar fate. Your human form and memories are utterly repulsive to me, but both will be endured until our mission is accomplished. And then there's two more Dire Wraiths in the parking lot. Come forth, sisters. And the majority of the Dire Wraiths, from what I've seen, are female. I believe it's a matriarchal society. I may do a video on the Dire Wraiths and their background. Maybe I will do that. I'll get enough likes on this one, comments. I will do that. The female awaits. And knock, 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 knock. I'm coming. Give it a rest, will you? I'm coming. For Pete's sake. Phil, I feel like this Dire Wraith that's in Phil Rosen's body is knocking like Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. Knock, 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 Valerie. Knock, 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 Valerie. Knock, knock, Valerie. uh, Phil, oh, sorry, I was in the bath. Anything wrong? We must talk, Val. It's urgent. Sure, come on in. Make yourself comfortable while I throw on some clothes. That won't be necessary. Hey, in a moment, you will be beyond all earthly concerns. What are you talking? Gasp! I've shown such interest in Dire Wraiths, Val. Tonight you will become one, or one will become you. Then all of a sudden, bam! Here comes Rogan through the door. No, no, she won't, sucker. She's mine. Another human. Who? Slay it at once. Don't you recognize me, Doc? After all the trouble you've gone to hunt me down like a mad dog, I'm Rogue. And she punches kicks the Dire Wraith through the wall here. And truth to tell, I really hate doing this. If ever anyone deserved being left to her fate, Val, darling, it's you. But right now, I need you alive. The force of Rogue's attack quite naturally distracts the Wraiths. Val Cooper makes for the most of her golden opportunities uh, when they're in human form. Yeah, the Wraiths possess human vulnerabilities. Best of all, like a knee to the crotch. Best of all, they're unable to utilize their alien powers. Um, uh, oh, Phil, if this Wraith became you, then that means you're and she can't say he's dead. Uh, I thought I'd seen ugly critters in my time, but you clowns are in a class by yourself. That Wraith hasn't a chance. Well, then it'll be my turn. I've got to get out of here, but first I need some answers. What did you want from me, alien? Talk. No, this if this attempt fails, tomorrow's will succeed. Eventually, Val, you and your precious world will be ours. Whatever happens, Wraith, you won't be there to see it. Bam! She but shoots him or her. I killed him. I never. I didn't think. Stop it, woman. Save yourself. Run. Afraid I'll have to cut this short, Yucko. But the government lady and me have got some unfinished business. And she knocks him clear across or knocks her across the parking lot. That scream. Has that Wraith killed Rogue? What's happening to her? Wow. So she touched the Wraith, the Dire Wraith, with her bare hands. Forgot wasn't wearing costume, no gloves. When our bare flesh touched, I absorbed its abilities, memories, identity. Monster so powerful, trying to take over. Must fight back, hold on to self. But which self is mine? Humans. I'm human. I'm less than animals, fit only for the slaughter. Rogue! I've established a mind link Nightcrawler, but her thoughts so alien and vile. Professor? Insatiable hunger, lust for death, destruction, overwhelming psychic defenses. If he is speaking of Rogue or himself, draw what strength you need from me, mein Herr. Rogue, help Rogue if you can. I've never seen him so shaken, and if things are this bad for him, how much worse are they for Rogue? The coordinates, Professor. Can Cerebral pinpoint Rogue's location? Meanwhile, a helicopter with searchlights in Caldecott County, because I don't know how big Caldecott County is, but I'm pretty sure they don't have a helicopter with searchlights. What a mess. This must be where Phil was ambushed. A chopper, but is it friend or foe? I'd better assume the worst. Where do all these cars come from? Why are they parked so close together? Come on, get out of my way. You in the lot, halt! No, I've got to keep going. Little more room. Ram, crash, crunch, and I'm clear. Done it. And she takes off in the car. But where do I go? What'll I do? The reports, even the films about the Wraiths, were so clinical. I never dreamed that they could be so awful. Phil's clothes on the seat, everything's covered in some sort of slime. If the Wraiths catch me, that's all that'll be left of me. Surprise, sugar. Scared, Doc? I'm glad. I hope this hurts. And she grabs Valerie with one hand and the steering wheel with the other. And the car crashes. I want you out for a while, Val. I don't want you calling your troops before I've found Roro. A few minutes contact should keep you on ice till morning. My Wraith self keeps expecting you to disintegrate. Eating brains really turns these yuckos on. Thank heaven its presence is already starting to fade. Things are settling down. I'm making sense out of Val's thoughts and memories. There's a dude named Forge, an inventor who makes stuff for the government. But what's his connection? No. It can't be true. That can't be what happened. It was me you wanted. Why do you have to hurt Storm? You better pray she's all right, Doc, or you'll be seeing me again. And she busts the car door off. Aurora got into a mess because of me. I wanted to pull her out by myself. But with all I've learned, I got no choice. I gotta tell Professor Xavier and get the X-Men's help. Meanwhile, with my costume destroyed, I have nothing to wear. So Forge had these clothes delivered. I wonder, what will he think? May I help? He's cooking dinner. Ow. Oh, are you hurt? Nothing, serious Oro. Yes, you look. That color, is it not lovely? The color, is it not lovely? And I have never felt such wonderful fabric. I could not resist it. I thought Forge, you are staring. What did you expect? I do not know. You make me nervous. Excuse me, forgive me. This was a mistake. I'll go find something else. Stupid woman. Idiot, cretin, call her back. Tell her she's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. What are you afraid of? No, not a woman at all, but a foolish child trying desperately to impress. Why do I so crave his approval? It is not like me how my behavior must have made him laugh. I am back. You changed. This is more comfortable. Ororo, I didn't mean to upset you before. It's just you caught me off guard. Are you ashamed of what you think and feel that you must hide those thoughts and emotions sometimes? I like my privacy. Your safety is There's safety in solitude, even if occasionally I overdo it. Then my being here is a threat. Perhaps I should leave. Please stay. I would like to. What are you preparing? It smells delicious, like curry, but actually it's not. It's hydera, hider body, boggy sushi over chuai. Oh, wonderful. You know this dish? Does not everyone? Touche. Uh, Dinner will be ready soon. Why don't you pour us some champagne? I do not drink Forge. Be daring. Take a risk. Who knows? You may even enjoy yourself. I am doing that already. Uh, Flattery Madeira will get you everything. Why do you joke, Forge? I would never make such fun of you. Maybe we're both trying too hard. Sure, I can't tempt you. And she drinks the champagne. It tickles my nose and makes your hair stand on end. May I have some more, please? You're meant to sip it. Oh, tastes good? Very. You're blushing. You're staring. So are you. My heart is pounding. I feel flushed and giddy. It must be the wine. Forge, are you are an Indian? Um, when I was thinking about when I first had my first glass of champagne, and I know how that felt. I wasn't much of an alcohol drinker, and I felt the warm flushness go through me, and the tickling of your nose and things like that. So apparently, Chris Claremont's drank champagne before. Cheyenne, have I offended you? Is this a forbidden subject? No, no, of course not. He what she means is he's Native American, not Indian. Up until the 80s and into the 90s, Native Americans were called Indians, and so instead of calling them Native Americans, you call them an Indian. Uh, so no, no, of course not. I'm proud of my heritage, but what I was has nothing to do with who I am or the life I lead. That sounds clever. The path of destiny doesn't always lead where we want. I mean, you began as a thief before joining the X-Men. True. Did your life change as dramatically? I better check the food. Change the subject much? Perfecto. My parents were killed by bombs. They leveled our house. My mother and I were buried in rubble, and I watched her die. This is why I am terrified of enclosed spaces. I have never told this to any living soul. We're a lot alike. I propose a toast to Crips and Outcasts. Listen, do you hear thunder? The storm must have reached us. Why not press the yellow button and see? Goddess, take it away. Make it go away. Make it stop. Or give me the control module. Open your hand and let go. This it's done, Storm. It's Storm. The storm is safe. The storm is gone. You're safe now. I felt so small and insignificant in the face of the storm's fury. Oh, Forge, I was so afraid. That'll pass, love. You'll cope. Thank you. Of late, even before I lost my powers, I have been living on the raw edge of my emotions, feeling, reacting, and to everything as intensely as can be. The first lesson I learned, and a very harsh one, it was too, was that my elemental abilities were bound up with my emotions. The greater my feelings, the more extreme the atmospheric response. To protect myself and those around me, I cultivated an absolute serenity of mind and body, so much that I lost virtually all awareness of myself as a woman. A few months ago, I cast away those restraints. I could no longer endure my self-enforced spiritual celibacy. So I rebelled. I cut my hair, changed my clothes. Like you, I denied as completely as I could my old world and self and beliefs. Now, what irony, the problem no longer exists. I need not fear my feelings, for the only person affected, the only one at risk, will be me. And not quite. And he takes her hand and touches her, and he kisses her. You're beautiful. You also. What are you feeling? I soar like an eagle, as high as the stars. I am happy. Would you like to fly, truly fly again? What do you mean? The damage might not be permanent. I'd like to examine you. A kind of generous offer, Forge, but I have no illusions. My powers are gone, as if they had never been. Uh, Perhaps the process can be reversed. Can we not discuss this later? Sure, sorry. Who the blazes is that? Phone's ringing. Never fails you in the middle of a conversation, the phone rings. Forge, Forge, no, your timing's perfect. As usual. All right, hang on while I switch phones to my study. Bad news? Business that refuses to wait. I shouldn't be long. Hurry back. Count on it. Have I lost my wits as well as my powers? I should have telephoned Professor Xavier at once to let him know I am well and to tell him of Rogue. He must be terribly worried. Whoops. Um, Make it fast, Henry. I'm busy. And Storm's getting ready to call, even though Forge is on the phone. Someone tried to kill Val Cooper. She's in a catatonic tonic, um, coma. That's Rogue's trademark. Alive? She is alive? Muties, especially the X-Men, stick together. If she learned Storm's whereabouts from Val, you can bet she's on her way. What do you want? Storm shifted to a federal facility. I told you before, Guy Rich. I am the best equipped to care for her. She's trust me. You're emotionally involved. That's right. You pulled the trigger. You shot Storm, but I designed the gun. No. That's what happens when you eavesdrop. Apparently this phone has a speaker because she can hear everything that he's saying. What was that? Forge? Was somebody on the line? Forge? Or let me explain. Never, because even now I want with all my heart to believe you, but not be taken. I must not be taken. They will put me in a cage without my powers. I have no means to fight them. I will never escape. The steps, the floor, I am falling. And then we have an ad for Olympic. I think we talked about this. You could you sold uh, greetings cards, and then you got enough. If you earn enough, you sell enough, you can have gifts that you can get. All right. Whew, she falls onto the couch, bed, I don't know, couch. Forge did that delivery to trap me. He made all the platforms and stairs vanish. Wretched, wrench my shoulder hurts, but I can still use it. Footsteps. If he calls again, I must not answer. What will that will tell him where I am? At least with the lights out, he cannot see me easily. The elevator is on the penthouse's main level, but how do I find my way without breaking my neck? His control module, if I can. Yay! The explosion. That's what happens when you use a remote you don't know anything about. And there was an explosion, and then we got more ads. Ads on every other page. And we see B-52 bombers flying over. What madness have I conjured? What have I done? Arclight. The B-52s, that maimed me. How the devil did Ororo access that file? Fire all about me. The very earth itself shrieks in torment as it is laid waste. What shapes are these things? Awful claws, teeth, blood, so much blood, fleeing in mortal terror. What madness have I conjured? Oh, I think I'm on the same page. Yeah, I did. I thought I went down. Gone. Cannot help flinching from their touch, or the bombs, or the flames. I know they are phantoms without physical substance, but they feel so lifelike. Uh, were those apparitions real? Impossible. Yet, could Forge's imagination be so foul as to create them? Why not? Nothing else about this man is turning out to be what it first appeared. How fitting that his smile masks the monster's soul. Oh, and she falls off one of the ledges. Oh, in the confusion, she must have gone off a platform. Don't move. You'll only make things worse. Such concern, no doubt. He hates the thought of losing his prized specimen. If I go on, I will only fall again. Forge knows his accursed maze. No matter what I do, he will find me. Blessed goddess, hear one who served you well and loves you still. Have mercy. And a lightning and thunder strike. Help me! And the window shatters. The lightning bolt. Uh, Glass isn't supposed to break under lightning. Ooga alarms going off. And Ooga, Ororo. And then we have a Marvel Comics ad with Sasquatch, Marina, Aurora, and Puck from Alpha Flight. Uh, there's nowhere to run, Ororo. Have a caremaker. Cornered animal is the worst, the most dangerous. Dangerous. I am not your enemy. Liar. The gun was never meant to be used. Not then, not like that. Then why was it built? It's my job. And you only follow orders, yes? I am no guinea pig, Forge. No toy with you to play with. I am a human being. Ororo, don't. Should I yield, Forge? Live out my days in hope and slavery? Uh, I prefer freedom. No one will hurt you, Ororo. I give you my word, which is nothing. Worth nothing besides the damage has already been done by you. I'm sorry, and that automatically puts everything right. What do you want from me to do? Turn neutralizer on myself? I created a weapon. If there's a cure, I'll find it. Uh, I'm the only hope you've got. An empty gesture, Forge. The device affects only superpowers. My mind is my power. I'm like you. I'm just like you, or a mutant. Of all your lies, that is the very nearest and cruelest. If I was the swine you think I am, lady, I'd have let Gyrich have you from the start. Instead, you have merely delayed the inevitable. I can protect you. Are you blind, or do you think me an utter fool? All you learn from me will be told Gyrich, who will then be told Gyrich. All you learn from me will be told Gyrich, who will then use it, with or without your help, and certainly not with your permission, to subjugate or destroy mutant kind. Our people, Forge, does that mean nothing to you? What else did you sacrifice with your heritage, honor, decency, humanity, and to think I wanted to impress you? I wore that silly gown. I unburdened my heart that a man who could not care less. How was who was forgotten? Who has forgotten how, if indeed ever knew? Ororo, stay away from me! And she cold cocks him, punches him in the face. You poor pathetic man. Feel better? No hurt, no hurt, less hurt, no less angry. You live in your high tower, untouched, untouchable, surrounded by illusions, so terrified of the real living world. You cannot bear to violate the sanctity of your space, even with something as small as a flower. Your home is a true reflection of its creator. Cold, cruel, sterile, and ultimately a deception. Any ideal world wherein the masters of lies can feel safe and secure. You're wrong. I'm not like that. Lie to me if you must. Do not to yourself. I cared for you, Ororo. I will not. I still do. I always will. You ask for me to trust my trust forged, yet give none in return. What of your fears, your hopes and fears and dreams have you told me? Even if I accept your words and give free rein to my feelings, you cannot believe because there is no you. You've no right to judge. Then prove me wrong. We are much alike. Forge, I see it in you and me that might have been. I chose to walk another road. My feet may never leave the ground, but someday I shall fly again. End. And then we have Collector's Olympics Heroes trading cards from M&M's. I don't remember those. That's strange. Expires 9/30/1984. All right. Well, that wraps up Life Death. I think that book, the story was kind of a life death in itself. Uh, I hope you enjoyed my reading and my commentary. Um, I'm going to try to do another video. I'll go to issue 187 and 188, 189. They deal with the Dire Wraiths. Spoiler alert. I hope you guys like this video. Share, like, click the subscribe button. Also, hit that little bell so you can get notifications when I post new videos. It's kind of disconcerting when nobody likes or watches the videos or shares them. So please keep an eye out for the next video. And I want to say Excelsior. Thank you. Thank you very much.